We're going to talk about anger today, anger management, how to handle anger, yours and that of your wife. We're going to talk about that. How do you navigate around an angry spouse? How do you deal with the anger inside you so that you do not destroy your precious marriage, and so that you move your marriage forward and have a better marriage every month and every year? All right, so that's what we're gonna discuss, and we're gonna look at that from a couple of scriptures. The main one being Galatians chapter 5, verse 20. All right, so let's get to the discussion for today. Anger management. In Galatians chapter 5, it says outbursts of anger as a work of the flesh. That is in the Berean literal Bible. That's what it says. Outbursts of anger. In English Standard Version, it calls it fits of anger. Fits of anger. New Living Translation, outbursts of anger. In New International Version, fits of rage. Those words, they describe a reaction to something that a person feels very much about. If a person feels really offended, really passionate about something, and they react with so much emotion, so much words, maybe destroying a property, and just trying to say, I do not want this. So outbursts of anger refers to an explosion of emotion. And the scripture is saying to us here that it is a work of the flesh. Now let's talk about anger, not just the outburst of the anger, but the anger itself. Anger is a reaction to some offense, a reaction to injustice, a reaction that allows chemicals to go into your body and get you to be on the defensive. And many times it can help you to protect yourself and protect people you love. So anger itself is not a design of the enemy. It is a design of God. However, when anger is used by the enemy, it becomes a work of the flesh. When we allow anger to rule or control our decision, then it is a work of the flesh. So what am I saying to you? You will get angry. You will get angry from time to time. I hope not with your wife often. And we can work on that. We can talk about that. If you get angry often, it is because that's a symptom of a problem or a challenge, or, well, what I call it is a wound in your heart, a hardness of your heart that needs to be healed. That's when you have frequent reasons to be angry. Anger is a reaction to something that you perceived wrong. Anger is a reaction to perceived injustice. And so when you are able to reinterpret what you see, and it's no longer like an injustice, you discover that the anger subsides. I like to give different examples. When you are on the road and someone cuts you off, you feel angry. You feel angry because they put your life at risk. If you have children in the car, they put your family at risk. If you have your wife in the car, they put your wife at risk and yourself. And not only you, they put themselves and many other people at risk. And that is unfair, because you know that that person is going to go scot-free because he just cut you off, and the police may not see them and no one sees them. They just go, and it's an injustice. So you feel sad. You feel that you need to make them know what they've done is wrong. If you could, by some supernatural way, or maybe you glance into the car that just cut you off and you discover that there's a man driving and there's a woman who is about to deliver a baby, and you can see the baby's head just falling out of the woman, your anger would subside. Now, it doesn't mean that the action of the man that cut you off is different. It's the same wrong driving and careless driving. But for some reason, because you can see yourself doing the same, or you can understand why they would be not as careful as they would originally be, you give them a benefit of a doubt, and your anger subsides, and you may even want to help that person that just made you angry. What happened in that situation is that you reinterpreted. You had a reason to, though. You had data that helped you to reinterpret the situation. And because you reinterpreted the situation, you did not react the same way. And so whenever we are angry, realize that the anger is coming from your interpretation of the problem, of the situation. You may be right. You may be right. But many times we are wrong. And why I say many times we're wrong is because it is very difficult to be very objective about the reason why a person did what they did when you don't have their whole life in view. It is extremely difficult. In order for you to get angry, you need to make some judgment. In order for you to get angry, you need to make some judgment. And it is the judgment that we make that triggers the anger. This guy is just being careless and trying to put me at risk. You will be angry. This guy has to get his wife to the hospital and save the child so that there's no complication. If that's your judgment, you are more lenient. You may still be worried or maybe concerned that the way he's driving, he may not even get to the hospital. Yes, but it's a different feeling. And so when we learn how to say, you know what, I don't have all the data, you cut off a lot of anger. All right. I remember when I was in high school, there was this guy. He was very friendly, very kind. We're all younger. I graduated high school at 17. And so one thing that I realized about him, he would play with you, laugh with you, and do things with you until you do something that he doesn't like. Maybe you say something, maybe you refuse to laugh, or maybe you put your plate somewhere where it interacts with where he put his plate, so affects his food. And he would change from smiling to really angry in a split second. And I always wondered, how is it possible that a person will be smiling 1 minute and be completely angry and frustrated the next minute? I used to wonder that, but as I grew older, I discovered that a lot of people are like that. A lot of people are like that because they are so used to being frustrated. They're so used to being treated unfairly that whenever you treat them in a way that they're not expecting, that is not in line with what they're used to, they completely believe that you are trying to offend them. You are like oppress them. You are taking a position that is detrimental to them. They forget that it could be a mistake. They forget that you may not know, or the person that they're angry at may not know why they're angry, and they just react. And that may be you. I may be describing you. And the funny thing about anger is that once you have a better idea of what happened, it can calm you down very quickly. In fact, those who get angry very quickly, like that, my friend that we were in high school together, The moment you explain to him and he agrees, so that he has to agree, and he has to be in a state of mind that he can hear you. Most times it's not, but some ways, maybe somebody steps up and say, no, 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 he didn't do that, I did that. He would immediately stop being angry at the person and get angry at the other one. Immediately, he could do that so quickly. So, and after he's said what he will say, and you say, I'm sorry, the next minute, he's happy again and is playing with you again. Because at that moment, he's able to see that you are okay. You have changed. You have agreed that you did wrong, and he's ready to move forward. Now, take a marriage situation where a man, so like my friend is a man, he goes crazy on his wife, and his wife feels very, because when you're angry, you say things that you don't want to say. You're treating your wife as if she's a stranger, as if she's your enemy. He may not be quick to bounce back like you. And you notice that she internalizes that. She doesn't like the way you shout at her or you react. Maybe some people don't shout, they just get angry and they keep quiet. Over and over again, in the course of a day, they get angry 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times because you said, you can say something like, what are we having for dinner? And they are angry because they wonder, maybe he thinks I'm a slave. Now, you've never said that, you don't think like that, but because they've had experiences like that where people just want to use them, they react, they get angry. They don't speak, they just get angry, they just shut down. And maybe a few minutes later, 2 minutes, 3, 4, 5 minutes later, they hear you say something again that they like, they calm down. But that is not resolved in their heart. They still think that you were mean, and it grows like that. And so that's why marriages just struggle. Not because the people are bad, because when anger shows up, we accept anger. And so whenever I'm trying to teach this, a lot of people say, but anger is normal. Yes, it's normal, but there's excess. Anger is created by God to protect us, to let the right chemicals move in our system so that our muscles get tensed up. We're going to fight or flee, and we have what we need to run or fight and not be destroyed. Yes, it's normal. That's what you read in literature, and it's true. It's natural for us to get angry, and we don't want to remove the ability to get angry from you. We just want to reduce the anger so that, because each time your adrenaline is triggered, your heartbeat starts to go higher, you're working your heart. Many times it's stressful. It's stressful on the mind, it's stressful on the brain, your body feels it. So you want to be at rest, you want to be more at peace when there's no need to be angry. So my friend that usually gets angry so quickly and then figures out that the person was not doing what he wanted, what he thought, it's better not to ever get angry. So for example, in the story I told you, someone cuts you off. Imagine if while they're cutting you off, you already know that something must be making them run and do that. You don't have to go through the stress of getting all angry, saying all sorts of things, and getting distracted. Your muscles tensing up, ready to fight, only to find that, oh, that guy wasn't mean. It was just trying to save his own family. Then you calm down. Then the next minute, and another person does something, you find out that they were just being foolish, and you calm down. There's no need for that. That's a waste of that energy. And so you want to make sure that the threat is real before you tap into that. And that's why the scripture says in Galatians chapter 5 verse 20 that this is a work of the flesh. It is not a work of the spirit. So if you find yourself getting angry 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day, even once a day, it's enough to begin to note what is going on here. Why am I getting angry so often with a person that I love? Because the truth is, if you're married to someone, you got together, you agree that you want to stay together for the rest of your life, the chances that they are trying to hurt you are slim. Yes, there are deceivers and tricksters out there, but they're not as many. In most cases, they are just being themselves. And their being themselves may be wrong. They may be doing something really offensive, really wrong. I'm not talking about that today. I'm talking about even if what they're doing is offensive and wrong, the goal was not to hurt you. The goal was to help them be the way they feel they need to be, to protect themselves, to help themselves get pleasure. Sometimes it's even to make you look up to them, but they do it the wrong way. And when they do it the wrong way, you perceive it as you have perceived it, and you can get angry. Your perception is what causes that. So I want to really encourage you, if you are finding that you get angry a lot and you've been excusing it, you've been saying that scripture says be angry and sin not, which is there in Ephesians chapter 4, Ephesians 4:26. It says, be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. Do not, verse 27, give opportunity to the devil. So you see there, be angry and sin not. That's English Standard Version. And when people read that, they get a very good portion of it, which is do not sin when you're angry. And they say to me, maybe we should not talk about people getting angry. We should just talk about how they handle the anger. But I want to share with you that it is better to also learn how to reduce the amount of times you get angry in the first place. And of course, even when you get angry, it's important to know how to handle and behave when you're angry. You need to release the anger as quickly as possible. Don't pile it up so that it becomes an outburst of anger. Someone was telling me that there was so much rage in her when she felt God saved that she would get so angry with her husband and pick up the sofa and throw it. She'll get so angry, she'll grab the sofa and fling it around in the house. That's an outburst. That's a rage right there. And it's not from the spirit. It is a spiritual problem. It's coming from anger, pent up anger from what people have done to you when you were younger. And the enemy, the demons, spiritual forces, get a hold of that, use it to get into you, to destroy you, destroy your marriage, destroy your home, destroy everything that concerns you. That's why you find yourself doing very destructive things when you are angry. So outbursts of rage, outbursts of anger will destroy things. You destroy physical things. You say words that are very hurtful, and very hard to recover when you're now calm. Now, that's if it's you, and your spouse may be in the same space. They're so angry, like that woman, you may be a husband. She's throwing things around, saying very many things because you said something. And what you said, you may not have ever imagined in your mind that it will get her angry. But I'm glad that you are here watching this. You are part of this group of men who have made up their mind that they want to have a marriage that reflects Christ. So I'm not excusing the anger of your wife, and I'm not excusing whatever they've done that triggers your anger. I'm saying to you, first thing first, let God help you so you're not rushing into anger. When you're angry, you notice that this is the work of the flesh. And when we're angry, we should recognize that the anger may be as a result of our misinterpretation of the situation. And so we try to slow down and find out, is there another way to interpret this thing that is getting me upset or angry? And more importantly, even when we get angry, how do we express that anger? We need to learn to do it in the ways of Christ, which is kindness. We must learn as children of God to speak kindly even to someone that has offended us. Why do we do that? Because when we speak kindly, we put an end to a cycle of destruction. We put an end to a cycle of destruction. So I really want to encourage everyone that's hearing this, that as part of this community of those who want to build their marriage and strengthen their marriage, that when you find anger, do not just excuse it and say, well, anger is normal. I'm just going to learn how to react to it. And every time people try to do that, they catch themselves, they already reacted. They already reacted. They already reacted because they have not learned to say, I don't even want to get angry. I want to be able to see the pain, the struggle, the hurt that my spouse is reacting to. I want to be able to hear them. Whatever they're saying or doing, I want to trust that it's not because they want to hurt me. I want to learn to hear from them. And if you learn to do that, most of the things that get you angry would subside. Not all, because you're still growing. It's not all. Something's still going to trigger you, but because you've learned to tell yourself that my spouse is not out to get me. They're just being weak. And it doesn't mean you're not going to be firm and take action on what they've done wrong, but it means that you're not going to lose your cool. You're not going to hurt your system, the body, the temple that God has given to you. You're not going to mess it up because you're completely angry. You're thinking differently. You're just so upset you can't even see. And the outbursts of anger, you open the doors for the enemy to grab hold of you and start to destroy your marriage. If a man has done something that makes you angry and there's anger coming up, you find that you feel offended, the first clue, the first thing that you will notice that you're not happy. So when you're not happy and you're not peaceful, you notice something is wrong. And once you see that, let everything that I've been teaching trigger and begin to work in you. So the first thing you want to see is that, okay, my husband has done something, I don't like what he has done, and I want to insist that he shouldn't do that anymore. I don't want to be hurt like this again. Now, at that point, you need to ask yourself, the actions that I want to take now, who are they for? Is it for me or for them? Usually what love does is think of the other person. Love is always wanting to bless the other person. And so if your husband is doing something that is wrong, you already know that thing, because it's wrong, it's destructive to their life too. If it's not destructive to their life, then it's not wrong. Yes. And what do I mean by that? Even when they're just doing things that hurt you, even when they're doing things that belittle you, it's wrong. It may not look as if it's wrong to them. It's wrong because you are a child of God and they're belittling a child of God. That means they're going against God's plans for their lives. In that case, then you need to help them see what they're doing that is not productive and that they can do better. When you're in that state, you then need to think about you. How am I going to react? Why am I reacting? Why is this thing such a big deal to me? If you're able to find out why it's a big deal to you, and the reason why it's a big deal to you is because it's a mess in his life, it doesn't help him, then you're ready to confront the situation. Most times, though, people do not wait to think about how dangerous or detrimental the behavior of their husband or their wife is to the wife or husband. They only think of how it is detrimental to them. And so when they're confronting the issue, they're saying to their husband or wife something like, I don't enjoy what you're doing. I don't like the way you talk to me. You are always belittling me. So when your husband hears that, it's not hearing love. It's hearing you are not thinking about me. That's how it feels. That's what you're saying, but that's how the flesh operates also. That's not how love operates. What love says is that the way you speak to a person that you say you love is quite weird. I know you love me, but when you say something like, what's wrong with you? Why is your brain not working that way? I feel that you are trying to destroy what you say you are building. Am I missing something here? So when a husband hears that, no matter how upset or angry he is, he begins to recognize that you're not thinking only about yourself, you're thinking of him. Now, it's hard to get there. It needs practice. It needs real practice, but that's what God called you to do. God doesn't call you to take care of you alone, but calls you as a team of two. And as a team, you're always thinking about the goal of the team. But I find a lot of Christians, they always come to me and say, my husband did this and my wife did this. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I have to calm them down and say, it's not about you. It's about God and what God is doing. if you can restate what you notice that your husband is doing in the terms of what God is doing in both of your lives, you get faster results. It's true you don't like what he's doing, but that's not enough. You're not God. There's someone higher than you that you can use to draw his attention to the fact that what he's doing is not good for him. Because when a person starts going against the creator, they are doing a very dangerous stuff. So this is how we confront the issue. Now, before you get to this point where you can confront the issue, you can use the issue, the anger, to also remind yourself of the things that you are hurting about. There's certain things that's making you get upset. There's certain things. It may be what they're doing, but most times it's not what they're doing. It's your way of interpreting. And so you can use the opportunity to grow in that area. So I've helped a lot of people to see that. Look, stop interpreting things as if your husband or wife is out to get you. Stop interpreting like that. Rather, interpret like they're broken, they're weak, they're confused, they don't know how deep this pain is for you. And the moment you shift from this person is trying to get me, this person doesn't respect me, to they are just behaving in ways that they're trying to protect themselves, it calms you down. You are now able to speak what you need to speak. So I encourage everyone, watch these videos every day. Join me every day. Practice. Don't practice only on your wife or your husband. Practice on your children, practice on your neighbors, practice on your co-workers. Don't feel comfortable when you're angry at the taxi driver or at the person that came to deliver your food. When you're angry at them, pick it up. What is this? Why am I angry? I don't want to get angry. I don't want to get angry. I want to be able to reinterpret. So when you're practicing that, you say, okay, why did I get angry at the pizza guy right now? Just because he wasn't smiling when I gave him a $2 tip. He wanted $5. Why am I angry at him? He just wants money. He's just greedy. So why am I angry? I should be able to look at him and say, this guy just wants so much money. I don't want to give him my money. And he has a right to now be happy with me that I'm not giving him enough money. But it's my money. I choose how much I give. So you notice that the feelings are not as heightened. That means you're growing. And you notice that you don't fall into that trap as often. So that's how I do. That's how I teach people. Practice, and you get better over time. All right. So if you have not downloaded my friendship cheat sheet, go ahead and do so. You will find the link in the description of this video, or you can go to adesobanjo.com/friends. My first name, my last name /friends. adesobanjo.com/friends. You get a one-page cheat sheet with a video that you can use to rebuild friendship and strengthen friendship in your marriage. My goal as a coach is to help every man who is looking at the marriage and saying, you know what, I want to get better. I need a support right now to hit my goals in my marriage. I'll be happy to help you. And of course, for my videos that I put on YouTube, I want everyone to get it to help them move their marriage forward. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord strengthen you and keep you. Continue to love like Jesus and make mega impact.